We have two guests. Our first guest is Ada B. Ada B. I just had it. I just asked him. Ada B. Ajodoku. He is an actor. And then our next guest is going to be Christian Willis. And she is a chef. And she was on the show on Netflix called Pressure Cooker. And that will be at 6 p.m. So you guys stay tuned for the whole entire time. And today we are going to talk about trends in the industry such as male BBLs and plant-based craze. See, I told you. See, I told you. He was like, what questions are you going to ask? Yes, serious questions. Yes, we're going to talk about that in 2 seconds. Okay. So let me get this little prepare yourself.
Whoa. Okay.
And we're going to talk about the hottest Mother's Day gifts that you can get for your mom last minute, because I'm pretty sure most of y'all forgot Mother's Day is really coming up. All right. Well, I got places for you to go in the city where you can go get stuff. And if you guys keep watching, you will find a whole bunch of entrepreneurs discounts that you can only get by being a viewer here. And one more thing, I need everybody to get their phones out and go to YouTube right now and follow me at Entrepreneur.ish so that you can see the rest of my episodes. And shout out to Creative Visions for filming today.
Yes.
Appreciate you.
Creative
and
Visions.
Shout out to Live Hip Hop Daily for hosting us every Thursday at 5 p.m.
Thank you.
So, star guest, Ada B.
Yeah,
Ada
B.
Where are you from?
Ojutiku.
Ashutiku.
Yeah, there we go. That's close.
There we go. There you go. Okay.
Born in Nigeria.
Okay.
Yep. Grew up in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Okay.
And
how does that happen? How do you? Why Raleigh?
So my father, he was a veterinary doctor, and he made the trek, brought the family, and the NC State University has a huge veterinary program, and so he was a part of that, and that's how we settled in North Kakalaki. Yeah.
How was that going from Nigeria to country
young.
America?
So I was young. I was 3.
Okay.
So really, the U.S. is all I know.
It's home.
But it's home. And, I've gone back, obviously. I have a lot of family still there, a lot of family here as well. But, we have a good blend of traditional Nigerian ways and culture, and then also just being in the U.S., growing up here and, learning the politics, the way people live, things like that. So, yeah.
I always hear that people don't really talk about slavery in Africa. Is that true?
Honestly, I really don't
know
know from that perspective, just because I didn't grow up there. But I know that. I don't know that much, because we talked about it from growing up in the U.S. I definitely learned about it. My parents talked about it, but I just don't know how, as a continent, it's always is discussed per se. And specifically, I'm from West Africa, and that's the hub of a lot of the slave trade. So I don't know what their perspective per se is and how it's impacted society now as as it stands. But I need to learn more about that.
Okay, no more serious questions.
No, that was good. That was good.
Bad. One more thing. I forgot a few plugs. I'm so sorry. Hi, Lola. I love you. Thank you so much for doing my hair. If you guys go to thelolaeffect.com and you use the code Entrepreneur.ish, you could get 10% off of any of her services. Okay. So now,
that's love.
Yeah, honestly, shout out to all my sponsors. You guys really keep me going, keep the show going. If you guys want to be a sponsor, just DM me on Instagram at Entrepreneur.ish.podcast and let's set something up. Okay, so now we're going to get into that question that I talked about that I was going to ask you. So, being an actor, body conscious, a lot of actors are really in shape. You're in shape. You keep yourself in shape.
Thank you.
How do you feel, and do you know much about the new craze that is going on? As apparently 1.3 million men have gone through plastic surgery in the past 5 years, and they've gotten ab reshaping, pectorals. It's not a BBL per se, but it's the best thing that, a comparison from male to...
Now, I saw back in the day, a while ago, guys would be shooting up like oil into their arms.
I don't know about that one.
They'd be looking real bulky. and
where they don't have no neck.
No neck, muscle arms big. But so body dysmorphia, I think that's a real thing. The great thing about filmmaking is we're telling stories that require a variety of, like, we're telling the human story. Any filmmaker, whether it's a futuristic story, a story that happened in the past, or a story that is present day, if it's real, if it's not real, we're telling a story, and we need all representations of humanity to tell these stories. So whether you're an old person and you want to act, you can do it. We need act. The film world needs you. Whether you are out of shape and you can act, the film world needs you. Whether you're in shape, the film world needs you. That to say, the safest place for me has always been to be my genuine self. Okay. And that is, I do love fitness, but I know that I won't always be able to lift the world. I won't always be super fit. I'll just always be the best version of myself. And that's just my perspective. However, I will not knock people that have a vision of themselves that they want to get to, and they feel like, hey, this is the best way. The only concern that I would share would be, think about the true impact to your mental health down the road, when a lot of these things are, the side effects are unknown. Yeah. They're not well researched. Yeah. And people, down the road discover, I didn't need to do that. Yeah. Because as you get older, the other thing, I'm like, by the time you're 30, like, you're not really gonna give a fuck. Yeah, exactly. So when you're in your 20s, you care about what everyone thinks. In your 30s, you're still, you're establishing yourself. You're like, what people think isn't as important. By the time you're in your 40s, at least for me, I really don't. I mean, I respect what people think, but I don't necessarily make my moves based off of what people think. Gotcha. Because I truly enjoy being my genuine self, being me. Have I always enjoyed that? No, right? But I'm glad that I didn't make decisions in my younger life that would impact me right now in my comfort and who I am right now. Yeah.
So you didn't get any tattoos or anything like that when you were 18? You did?
Well, not when I was 18. Okay. When I was in my 30s, I did get a tattoo as a scripture.
He's showing it off.
Yeah, 1 Peter 2:9. But that was significant just because it's essentially the definition of my name, royal priesthood. My name, Adebi, means child of the king. Oh, wow. So all glory to Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. Thank you for, I give him all the glory for allowing me to be alive right now, putting me in this space to have a conversation with you. So really thankful for the journey, even though it's not always what I want, where I want, and when I want it to be. Yeah. He's giving me an opportunity.
Yeah, so we're gonna definitely talk about that, because that's always the big deal. Also, happy belated birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So how does it feel, like, to be in a new decade? Like, how does it feel?
It feels good. I think, the week before I turned 40 or completed the year of 40, I just took some time to digest. Like, man.
Did you buy a Ferrari?
No. No. Maybe when I'm 50, but nah, I don't even think that's on that's on the agenda. But you never know. We never know if there's discretionary funds to do that. But I really took a week to digest and just enjoy the love and appreciation. Because when I turned, most of my birthdays I don't celebrate it. Just, I don't know. Like, I've celebrated birthdays, but I don't really make a big deal. I think, and I'm not, men and women celebrate however they want to celebrate. But generally, I do see women sharing and really celebrating and loving each and every single birthday, which is something that I respect a whole lot. But for me as a guy, and it's not, I don't think it's because I'm a guy, it's just the way I've been wired. I don't generally like to bring a lot of attention to my birthday. I just enjoy it. My way of celebrating is being at the crib, in peace, relaxing, watching a movie.
I feel you.
When I was 38, I did a celebration.
Okay.
A lot of friends came, just because I just moved to Atlanta, a lot of friends came into the city, which I love them for. A lot of energy, though. A lot of energy, managing people's,
You're like me, where you're like, I'd rather be in the house.
So I was like, you know what, I'm not doing anything else. But then when I turned 40, I had to do something.
Have to.
But it was different. I think I didn't take ownership of people's interactions, and because these are different groups of friends meeting each other.
Yeah.
But for some reason, everything just came together lovely. Like everybody was just vibing. My mom was there celebrating with us. So it was a good time.
That's a blessing.
And 40 was good.
Good. Man, I don't know. I just turned 30, so I always ask people that.
I thought you were like 25.
No. Oh, thank you.
Go ahead.
Appreciate
Go ahead.
that.
Black don't crack. Okay, I see.
Thank you. I get that a lot, actually.
I see you. Okay.
No, I just turned 30, and I freaked out.
What's your sign?
Freaked out. I'm a Cancer.
That's why.
Yeah, that's why. June 22nd is actually coming up. Like I'm doing something really big. I'm turning 31.
You're about to turn 30. You said you just turned 30.
I mean, it feels
You've been
like
30. You've been 30 for almost.
Let me tell you, it took me 6 months to actually say I was 30 because I attract a lot of younger guys. Let me just say that.
Yeah, because you look young. That's
Thank
why.
you.
Yeah.
But then they'd be like, "How old are you?" And I'd be like, I'm old enough.
Yeah. But then you carry yourself with dignity, respect, and then you got, you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You're killing it.
Thank you.
Hey.
Thank you.
Kudos to you.
30's been good to me. Actually, I've become, like you said, I've become a lot more me, a lot more confident in myself and how I look and things like that. Like things that I just was not okay with in my 20s. I used to hide.
Because I think, when I was younger, I used to be anxious about anxious to make mistakes.
Yes.
Like I would be like, oh man, what I say has to be perfect. I have to know the information. Seems like everybody around me knows what they're talking about.
Knows everything. And then I found out no one knows what the fuck they're
no
talking
one,
about.
yeah,
Like not a single person knows what they're talking about. Like they have no idea what they're talking about. They are winging it.
Yeah.
And they just look really good at it. And then they're going to give you like a little inspirational moment that they read on Instagram. And then they're going to be like, well, I'm crying at home. Still crying.
and I feel it's like you just go for it. You tell the truth based on your perspective and facts. I think there's some factual things that are true, some universal truths, and what your spiritual convictions are. You give the best representation of yourself and what you know, and the things that you don't know, you're fine with not knowing. Those spaces that you make mistakes, you're fine with making those mistakes. For me, one of the things that really helped me was improv. So I took some improv classes just for the film side.
Okay.
But that helped me just get comfortable with. Shit gets awkward once in a while.
Yeah.
You might not have the right thing to say all the time. And that's all right.
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad you brought up improv because we're going to play a game later. We're going to test those improv skills. You know, if you want to brag about them.
Yes, and. Yes, and. Let's do it.
Okay. Since we didn't really talk about what you do as a career, so let's talk about that. And then I want to get more into questions about your industry and what's going on right now.
So I'm very fortunate to have the opportunity to act, be a filmmaker. I've done a few films, independent projects, and also my 9 to 5, something that I'm passionate about is human resources.
Oh, wow.
So, yes, I'm a HR director in my professional life.
That's good.
And early on, I did not know how the two would merge because when you have a corporate career and a creative career, these things do not marry.
Yeah, because you probably have like a call at 2 p.m. and then you got to be at your desk. How does that work?
So I was COVID helped a lot. Yeah. COVID because
shout out to work from home. Shout out to remote.
So because now a lot of auditions are now online instead of having to go in, because early on I would have to. Man, I tell my boss, look, I gotta leave for an audition, and an audition is just an audition. It's not a casting. It's not you got the job.
Yeah.
And so you'll do hundreds of auditions before you might get one call.
Did any of your bosses get mad at you and be like, yo, stop going on these auditions, it's not even working for you, you just go to work?
Nah, to your point, 100%. They wouldn't necessarily say it, but you could tell. And even me, I'm kind of like Here I go again. I just had one yesterday.
Really?
So I gotta ask, let them know again. But luckily with COVID, that changed. I could do everything from home or go to a taping studio, record it, and send it off.
Oh, that's awesome.
Now, what's even more important for me is the fact that the way my employers have always been comfortable with it is the fact that I'm able to bring that creative side into the HR work that I do, particularly through improv.
Really?
So there's a book that I read a couple years ago called Business Rules for Improv.
Okay.
There are ways that an organization can communicate to move the business along, the objectives, the goals along through improvisational skills. We gotta say that 10 times fast with a bottle right here.
Wow.
Improvisational skills. As many times as I say it, I can't get it right, but it's all good. So
we all do it.
So you have these improvisational games that you can use in a workforce to create team bonding, team building activities, and it helps with communication skills. So if you and I are in an office setting and we have to work together, we have to collaborate daily, and we argue, we debate all the time, that can hinder a project from moving forward.
Oh, yeah.
But there's some skills that you can learn from an improv called basic rule. One of the basic rules of improv is yes and. So if I say something but you're really not with it, yes is you're accepting what I'm saying. Okay, you said it. I'm receiving what you're saying.
Okay.
Instead of me saying no and negating what you've just said and now stopping and hindering progress on this project or this conversation, this is how I'm going to add to the conversation. So we yes and it.
Okay.
And so when we bring that into a workspace, most employers, most corporate offices aren't familiar with that.
Yeah.
Even though it's a very basic improv skill, you bring that into a workspace, they're like, wow. Communication becomes more effective. Engagement is improved, and that's what I own from an HR perspective, employee engagement.
So do you sit there and kind of run an improv class with the whole organization, or?
So it depends on the size of the team and what they need. So often I'll just hire an improv team to come in and run the class and engage the team. So if it's we have a customer service team, a lot of times their skills are critical because they are resolving some intense situations. Yeah, there we go. Intense situations with customers, and that impacts retention. So now you come in with these improv classes, and instead of arguing back and forth with a customer, yes, I heard you. This is an issue.
Oh, no.
And these are the things that we can do to resolve it going forward.
Do you know what I used to do, the angry customer?
Okay, yeah, exactly.
Because I used to get those a lot. Especially, it'd be 8:30 in the morning and somebody's yelling at you and you're like, all right, just got up. So what I would do is be I would let them talk. And then at the end, I would be like, what would be your best solution for that? So I asked them, what do you want out of this? Because you can't argue with me the whole time, blah, blah, blah. And if they're like, I want a supreme discount, be like, okay, give me 1 second. And then I just put the phone on hold, do the conversation or chat on hold, and then I just wait. And you give them, I just wait. Give them 5 minutes. That person is not mad no more. And then you come back and you say, I just spoke to my supervisor.
So you lied.
Yeah, you lied, seriously. Oh, seriously. If y'all ever hear that music in the background, she was like, I don't want to deal with her.
Let me get a manager real quick.
Right. Let me get a manager. And then you talk to the manager, and then you go, hi. So that solution is not possible, but we have this solution. And so you always give them a second option, but it's definitely one of those things that took me a very, very long time to learn, because you can let somebody else's mood affect yours.
100%.
And I used to let that happen all the time. And then one day I was just like, I actually don't have to let you get me mad. We can just watch you be mad. And what is funny is you let somebody yell at you with absolutely a straight face, they stop yelling. Because they're like, dang, she don't care, or I look stupid now. Like, I'm all upset. Like, no, just shut it down. Just be like, okay.
So I hear you.
Yes.
Yes.
And. Yes, and.
I think I like that. I like that. Let me not say I like that. I hear that approach. Mm-hmm. The thing is that scalable, right?
Yeah.
And depending on the size of the organization, like what's the brand that you really want your organization to adopt when it comes to customer service? So it's not that that's bad. Like, yeah.
Do companies really care? Because a lot of my companies would be like, I really, really just want y'all to answer, like, keep these people satisfied. Just keep them out of calling my sales manager and keep
I'm
them
glad you asked that question.
from doing that, because a lot of people really didn't care. Like, somebody could literally be like, I'm dying and I need y'all help, and they'll be like, well, according to the rule book, you can only offer 15% off. Like, and they'll be like, all right, well, sorry.
I'm glad you asked that.
Yeah.
Because companies, a lot of times, when they are running the show, they are the number one contender in the market. They don't think they care. Oftentimes, they don't think they care. Case in point, Spirit Airlines. Oh. Case in point, and I'm not here to knock Spirit Airlines.
Okay.
I'm here to say, case in point, early on, they would say yes. Customer service wasn't a thing of ours because our prices were so low; they were so competitive. We had these $100 flights.
Yeah.
Nobody could beat that.
Yeah.
So they opened the market for a customer base that wouldn't have been flying before.
Yeah.
Right? So, and typically when your price gets low, you have more issues because you have a new client base that is not as affluent, right? Per se. I'm not saying in all markets yet. Yeah.
Please don't cancel it.
No. But it's true. So, you open the market so you have more customers. You got
a whole different base.
That being said, they were really, at the time, when it comes to very low fares, they were the only competitor in the game. So customer service wasn't a big deal. Then guess what? American Airlines said, we're going to roll out a base fare. We're going to compete with that.
Delta did too.
Frontier, Delta, all these other airlines. And so what was the value proposition, right? The value proposition was, okay, if Delta's going to have cheap fares, but they have that great customer service, that customer base that we were shooting for, now we're going to start losing them because
they're gonna fly Delta.
And then we're in the social media age where every little thing that our flight attendants, our customer care team does is going to be recorded and distributed.
Recorded, yeah.
And we look bad. So Spirit has gone back and they are trying to fix that. And they're fixing their customer service issue. So once again, these things are case by case, and it's hard because they built their brand on, we don't necessarily care about customer service. Yeah. Let me not say they don't care about it, but it wasn't a priority.
Yeah, and that's what I always notice is, like, customer service seems to be like the bottom, like, especially in my departments that I've worked for all tech companies, trucking companies, like whatever. We were always just, last thought. Yeah. Like,
and then
we have a customer service team. So we don't care about growing them.
Look at Comcast, for example. Back in the day, maybe not even too far back in the day, their customer service was horrible.
Awful. People still don't have Comcast.
But now it's changed. You could talk to, or is it they call it Xfinity now? You call Xfinity, the customer service, they seem to care. Like, okay, we'll talk about that. Oh, we'll take, because they realize, okay, being on top of the hill isn't a given forever.
And also, you're getting a reputation, and 100%. I feel like reputation is like the biggest thing.
100%. So to your question, do companies care? They might not think they care, but data shows that they need to care. And the ones that are smart
they're going to care. Okay.
Yeah. And so what they'll do is they'll invest in a good HR team that can bring something like improv to build employee engagement and train employees on skills to deal with escalations and relationships within the workspace.
Have you ever been in the chair? Have you ever sat there and did the phone calls or the chats or something like that for any department? Because I always feel like
HR.
Yeah.
So
HR doesn't they talk about it and try to help you, but they don't know the job. They never did it before, so you kind of feel like.
Great question. So my background before I got into human resources, I was a retail manager.
Okay.
And then prior to that, when I was in college, I worked for a debt collection agency.
What?
And so
you got hung up on every day?
Look, it's crazy because people would call, like I would call people, they'd say, man, you know, I can't pay this bill. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna give you 20. I'm gonna take that off. Like I was hooking people up. Like I was no good at that job. I was no good at that job.
I should have called you back then.
I was like, because it was a credit card agency, so there were people that be late. They have late fees and whatnot. Like, man, I've been late for 6 months in a row. Can you take some of that? I'm like, you know what? I should have, but I'll do it. And that was just my heart.
I would have personally been like, I need to talk to this extension right here every month.
I was horrible. I was horrible at that job because I was not.
You were saving lives.
Yeah, $25 at a time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's perfect. Okay, so to get back to your acting world.
Okay.
Right now in the acting world, there's this huge strike where even Quinta, the person who wrote Abbott Elementary, went public last week talking about she's on strike for season 3 of Abbott Elementary and writing her show. So how do you feel about this strike? Like, how does it affect actors? How does it affect like the world that you were used to before this?
I think it's important that periodically writers, filmmakers, anybody that creates and they don't necessarily own the production side of it and the distribution side of it, they come to the table when technology changes, things change. The landscape of filmmaking has changed, particularly because of streaming.
Yeah, Netflix changed the game.
Exactly. So now they've come to the table and they've said, you know, things need to be different. And when those production agencies or platforms are pushing back and they don't want to provide the rights, livable wages, and give those individuals what they deserve, then you got to strike. You got to stand up for what you believe in, what's right. And so
you write too. So how do you feel about it? Like about trying to get your films out and stuff like that.
So I appreciate you saying I write in films. I'm working on one film.
Okay, my bad. I jumped to you in 10 years.
I appreciate it. That's why I didn't knock it. I said yes, and so I'm working on one film, and I'm just imagining if I was in the seat of a writer that's a professional writer, part of the Writers Guild of America, and that's what I did, and that's how I make my income. Right? And not being paid currently what I'm worth, and not getting the right residuals for the sale of my project on different platforms or networks, that'd be frustrating.
Yeah.
I would be very disappointed. And in the unionized or labor game, you have your brothers and sisters that stand with you, and your brothers and sisters in this case would be crew, and then the actors. Yeah. So SAG-AFTRA, and then I forget the name of the.
I don't know.
So, the there's a union for the production, the crew. Okay. They're next to strike. I don't know if I haven't followed where things are with them, but at the end of the day, like, we have to stand together. I'm not SAG. I'm SAG eligible. Okay. But I'm an actor, and I genuinely care about people's rights. Yeah. Getting paid what you're worth. Yeah. And being valued in the industry. That's awesome. I'm sure the networks have their perspective, the platforms have their perspective, and they have to. They need to come to the table, right? They need to come to the table. Y'all can come
in this show. Y'all can come talk about it. Let's talk about it. I would love to hear what a network feels, because that's always something. It's always the dream. The dream is to get your show on Netflix, to get your movie out there, to finally make a hit show. Yeah. And then right now I'm just seeing like a lot of. Like, my favorite shows are paused. I'm upset as a watcher, as a viewer, like as a consumer. I'm like, come on, let's get back to making real movies. Let's stop remaking the same movie from the 70s.
100%.
Like, let's get some real stuff going
And
on.
the thing is, from luckily, I'm a creative. Luckily, I'm a creative. Very, very, very. I'm very fortunate to be a creative because I get to see some of what makes the product. I get to see the mess behind the scenes, or just all the stuff, the ingredients. And for even a 5-minute film, a 5-minute project that you'll see on TV or on YouTube, it's a lot of work. Because even now, this podcast that you're doing, you're going to take time to edit. All the production, the setup to get this thing.
It's creative vision.
But still, like the fact that.
That's why I work with them, because I used to do that and I was not good at it.
A lot of work, right? Yes. And so, I think there's enough money and resources for everyone to be valued and to feel good, to continue creating.
Yeah.
Because we want the best to write, we want the best to produce, and we want the best to act. We want the best in all aspects of the industry, and we don't want anyone to feel shortchanged. Well, at least I don't.
Yeah. Well, thank you. We're gonna do another Bossy shout out before we get into your interview questions.
Oh, we haven't gotten to the interview questions yet?
No, those are just the trends. Need a break. Okay, you can have a break while we talk about Risque Babes right here. This whole little setup. I am so happy to be a representative of this female-owned brand. So she sells adult novelties. So you guys know what that is. It's a pleasure toys. This is what it is. Yeah, that's what she sells. And then she also sells makeup. So we got a little bit of both here. And right now she's having a sale with the code Entrepreneur.ish. You can get 50% off of what you see here. So over here is her lip kits. And this is...
Should I grab one and hold it up?
Yeah, you want to hold it? Hold the box. Be my Vanna White. And she has lots of different colors. She's got colors. She's got everything. She's at pop-ups. She'll be at one Saturday if she's feeling better. I do hope you feel better, Erica. And she has crazy colors like blue. She's got eyeliner, everything. So, and then she also has the famous rose. We're going to turn around. It's the rose. And so, guys, I don't know if this is Mother's Day. Maybe for your wife, Mother's Day. Maybe not for your mom. I don't know. Your mom actually might want one, but just send her the code.
Whoa.
Don't buy it for her. Don't buy it for her. Just send her the code. Let her know I know a place where you can go. But anyway, if you want to get your wife something, if you want to get your girlfriend something, if you want to get yourself something, if you want to get your sneaky link something, then go to Risque Babes and do the code Entrepreneurs, and you can get one of these for 50% off. I want you, as a man, to guess how much this costs retail.
Retail?
Retail.
I have no idea. I'll guess.
I need you to guess.
$15. I don't know what
15. Try it a little higher.
Okay.
50. I wish. 50. Wait a minute. We are not doing 50% off of 15. Come on, think.
50, okay, so 50%. Okay, so retail. $230.
You're close. You are really close. So the ones with the attachments are $230.
Okay.
Like the ones with like the insert, yeah. Y'all don't understand. See, guys don't understand when it comes to a single woman and what she got to do for herself. It takes a lot to imitate. It takes a lot. But these right now are $115 retail, and the 50% off code Entrepreneurs will get you half of that. So
I was close. I said 15. I just didn't say the 100
No, you
part.
just didn't. No, you were not close.
I said 115.
You were not close.
I said 15.
If these were $15,
You said 115.
Yes.
I was just 100 off. I'm 100.
Okay. No, all right. If these were $15, I promise you, no woman would mess with y'all. Like, all these bad dates wouldn't happen. We're going to talk about your dating show in a second. You wouldn't be on there because she would be dating her bros because they're not $15.
Wow.
But that is Risque Babes. And I also just launched an episode on my YouTube at Entrepreneur.ish where I interviewed the owner. So please check that out. And yeah. That's it. 15. I'm still tripping off $15. Do you go into toy stores? Is that your thing? Yeah. Okay, my bad. I sprung this on him, guys. He had no idea.
I had no idea.
I'm loving this shock on your face.
This is new. I just saw lipstick, and I thought I just saw lipstick.
That's why I turned it around so we didn't shock the viewers.
I thought that was a bath bomb or something.
Like, oh, no, not. It's not a bath bomb. You can use it in the bath, but it's not a bath bomb. I'm sorry, it made him really uncomfortable.
No, I'm comfortable, but I'm shocked. I'm shook.
Man, sexual wellness is a real thing. It is.
It's important.
It's a real thing. I would rather people be doing this than outside raw dogging. So, like, 100%. This is safe. This is safe sex right here. Yeah. So I'm very happy to be an ambassador. So yeah, we're gonna switch subjects because we're gonna make sure he has time to get the blush off his face. We can get back to a regular conversation. I'm sorry. He wasn't ready.
It's interesting. Yeah.
No, I love it. Anyway, we can talk about that later. But yeah, sure. So what inspired you to pursue acting? Let's get back into your interview. People get to know you better. So
it's something that I just gravitated to as a kid. I think
really
the earliest memory that I have of myself was from an acting perspective, actually creating something. I always acted out. I wasn't bad, but I acted out. The first thing I created. Not
bad, but acted out. Please clarify that because
I wasn't bad. I just acted out.
I'm sure people want to know what's the difference.
So I was silly, had fun as a kid. I laughed a lot.
Were you a class clown? You were the person always piping up in the middle of the story?
No, I wasn't a class clown, but I would write funny stories. So anytime we had a chance to write stories, I would always write funny stories, and then we would read those stories. I remember in elementary school, I'd read the story, and I would always read it in an accent, and the class would die laughing. Yeah, but so I had a comfortability with being silly and just enjoying myself. Now, my first memory of something that I created was in middle school. Was when I had to do a project. We had an option to, I forget the options, but one of the options was to create a video and educate the class on whatever topic we were going to educate the class on. I chose to do National Geographics. Okay. So I was going to educate the class on different animals. Okay. In nature. I thought my plan was to be Crocodile Dundee, hunter.
Yeah. Okay. Did you crikey? Did you do
I did it all. I from the underground, from the outback. This horrible accent there. That's a trash accent. But I actually created a bunch of animals. I cut them up and put them throughout the forest in our backyard. We had a huge backyard at the time. And I had my dog with me. It was a beagle. So it was a hunting dog. So I would go, and I had a microphone in my hand, and I was like, "Hey, we spotted a crocodile over there." And we went. My mom actually has a cassette tape.
Did you have it? Yes. So I'm gonna have to I need to see that. We need to have a watch party on that.
And then I have a little, what do you call it? Hat.
The little bucket hat, safari hat. Oh my God.
Some cargo shorts. And I interviewed the crocodile. I said, "Hey, what type of crocodile are you?" And the crocodile responded. That was me. "I'm a crocodile sitting in the forest." So, but it was just fun, And it's crazy. I set up the camera myself. Nobody was recording me. And this was back in the day.
Yeah, you was just out here with your whole video camera.
But I really just enjoyed creating. I enjoyed just being in front of the camera as a kid. Then anytime I would go to the movies, I always saw myself in different characters. I'm like, man, I want to be that guy.
Which one was the dream one back then?
Wolverine.
Really?
I wanted to be
Wolverine. I could see you being Wolverine.
Man,
somebody said yes. No, for real.
I loved that character. I thought I was an X-Men as a kid. I would tell my brother, look, anytime we go to sleep, the X-Men wake me up and they take me on their ship and we go fight battles. True story.
You come home right before you leave.
Yeah, exactly. True story. And it's just something that always stayed with me. Now, there were multiple times throughout my life, my young life, where I said, okay, let me get into filmmaking. But, like we were talking about just before I got up here, we always look at the top of the mountain. Like, I would look at least at the top of the mountain.
Steven Spielberg.
Exactly what the career was. And it's like, okay, that's an actor. Not necessarily the grind, the actor that's unknown.
Yeah.
That's not really where it's at.
What you saw,
at that time, when I was in my young mind. So it was very daunting, and I just thought to myself, this is an impossible career to navigate. It's impossible for me to make. There's no blueprint on where to go, how to be an actor, how to get started. There's no blueprint. You just have to, I think, surround yourself with people that have similar visions, similar desires, and from there you start making some connections. Now, I used to live in Miami prior to moving to Atlanta.
Okay.
So about, I'd been acting since 2014. That's when I got into it seriously. But while I was in Miami, there was a weekly Tuesday theater production, not really production, but cold read called Naked Angels. Okay. So naked. You're like, hold on, Naked Angels.
Wait a minute. You was mad about my rose, and then now you.
So shout out to Naked Angels. Shout out to Diana Lotte. Naked Angels is every Tuesday in Miami, LA, Chicago, and I believe they have it in. Oh yeah, obviously New York City.
Is it in Atlanta?
Not yet.
Why not?
So let me tell you what it is. So Naked Angels is where writers would bring their scripts, and actors show up to perform these scripts. Cold reads. Okay. You don't get to pre-read it. Wow. So and another thing that I dealt with was, from a child to growing up being an adult, there was a transition where I actually had a stage fright. So speaking in front of people, it made me a bit nervous just because my father was disciplinarian, and he was very strict on speaking perfectly. So when we'd be in the house, we'd be reading the scripture, I would have to read perfectly, and that made me very nervous and very anxious now when I would speak in front of people or read in front of people because I didn't want to mess up.
Thanks for speaking on that.
Yeah. So Naked Angels actually helped me break that. They never knew that. But I remember when I first got up there, I was like, oh my goodness. I don't have a chance to read this first.
You're like, what if I skip a word?
What if I skip a word, if I mess up? And of course I did, but I just learned to be comfortable with that.
Yeah, were you embraced? Because I know for me, the biggest thing was I never surrounded myself around other creatives. Yeah. That was something my mom always told me to get a real job. I always wanted to be a TV host.
Until you make it big, they're like, wow,
and they're like, get a real job, right? So I used to play host in my room. Like you said, you used to go outside and film your own films and act in them and stuff like that. I used to do this in my room. And then when I started pursuing it, she was like, shouldn't you be focused on something else? You're a smart girl. Go do science or something. So I went to school to be a neuroscience professional. Actually, that's what my bachelor's is neuroscience. Yep. I'm actually pretty smart, guys.
I can tell it's like the fact that it takes smarts to be able to get this type of thing.
Yeah, so just a little bit.
I already knew that. It takes a lot.
Thank you. Yeah, so I did that. And then I was supposed to go get a job in a lab. And I worked there for 2 days.
Yep. The lab ain't for you. Nah.
I was like, how serious do I have to be? So a lab is serious. And please only have serious people work in labs because I'm so serious. Do not have somebody who likes to daydream and things like that, like me.
Doing their own thing.
Yeah, because you have to whatever you're monitoring, you have to monitor every second, and then write down every single thing that was happening. So I worked in the neuroscience field, so we did a lot of crayfish. So you would have to watch their neurons activate and different things every time you touch them here. Did that. So yeah, I was I was not it. I was not there for that. I missed things. My papers were like, yeah, so this thing happened. I wasn't eloquent. And so that was one of those things where I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And maybe I could still do it if I had gone with it. But that was the first thing I quit. And I was like, yeah, let's not do that. Let's do something else.
I mean, going for your calling is important because you don't, and you live in a world or a space that is not what you're built for. I think that drives a lot of depression.
Yeah.
It drives, because then you start seeing people doing the things that you know you're called for. And it's tough.
Talk about it.
And, so though for me, Naked Angels gave me a space to develop that comfortability with reading in front of people, performing in front of people, and just embracing the journey. There was a community. Now, the trick about the acting community as well is sometimes they can embrace you but not really call out the things that you need to do to improve, right? Because you want to support other people. You don't want to call it, like, if someone
so criticism is not like a thing.
But you have to find, you don't want to just be going around, let me criticize.
Yeah.
But you really have to find that genuine group of people that you can, hey, all right, this is what I got. What do you think? And they can give you honest feedback.
So how do you ask that what do you think question? Because I think a lot of people who are just starting Entrepreneur.ish, they're like, okay, I have this great idea, and then they don't share it at all because they're so afraid of asking that, what do you think? How'd you get over asking, what do you think?
Well, I ask the right people. Like, it depends on who I ask. Like, so I don't ask everybody, because if the person just feels like they need to say the right thing to stay in my good favor, then, that could be a challenge. If it's someone that I don't necessarily know and trust, or not even trust their judgment, but know that what their judgment is, then I might not take it to them. But I do have different people that I can go to. That like there's a film that I did that I'm going to be able to share with some people, just a small group of people that they're actors, extremely critical, but I respect their work. And I know they're going to joke and laugh and make fun of me, but also, it's all in love.
Yeah.
But they're going to give me real feedback, like, yo, this is really good. Keep
say
it
yes
going. And this,
and.
yes, and, right? So, and it's not, and, some people criticize you to kind of like throw you down, right? Or push you away and keep you out of opportunities, or like, shut the door. You shouldn't be doing this, right? As an actor, you shouldn't act. That's not for you.
Wow.
So you just have to be careful, because you want criticism that is genuine, but then also points you in the right direction. Because I've seen actors that won't be your traditional actor. Like, for example, The Rock. He's not, you would say, Oscar style actor. He's an entertainer. He is. I mean, could he be? Like, if he wanted to, I'm sure he could. He could study and do amazing things. Yeah. He's already doing amazing things.
What's the other wrestler who's an actor? The one that
Batista.
was in. Yes.
But
amazing.
Exactly. So his acting he's not necessarily. He was an entertainer in the WWE space, but now I think he's a truly grounded actor, and it's his stuff is fun. It's funny. It's different, and I'm not necessarily in the position to. I'm not criticizing The Rock by any stretch of the imagination, but he knows his lane.
Yeah.
And whether he decides to carve out another lane for himself, he can do that. But the truth is, he knows his lane. So for me to see an actor, and just because they're not doing the things that I think an Oscar winner does, doesn't mean they can't thrive in the space. They just have to figure out what their lane is in order to be successful. Gotcha. So understanding who's criticizing, where they're coming from, and how are they going to help you elevate yourself in that space. And, there are some people out there that just, don't have the commitment to the craft. And that's when you really want to tell somebody, all right, look, if you're really not going to be committed to it, then maybe you should find something that you do want to be committed to. Let me help you find that, or let's talk about that.
And let's talk about the commitment that is needed to get through this, because I know sometimes like we were talking about off camera, we were talking about like you go out for different castings, you keep going over and over again, and sometimes you don't get everything. What do you do when you don't get it? Like, what makes you go, okay, I'm going to go to another casting call? Like, what makes you not give up in that moment? Because I'm sure there's a lot of actors watching that are like, man, I went to one yesterday and I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, that's par for the course. I think, acting is auditioning. It's funny because I would hear that.
I like that.
I would hear that early on so often. I'm like, this is so boring. I'm tired of hearing acting is auditioning. Congratulations, you got an audition. That's the job. But the truth is, if you don't look at it in that perspective, you will be frustrated and you'll quit easily. You'll quit quickly. So when I get an audition, it gives me an opportunity to perform, to do something that I enjoy doing. Obviously, my goal is to get big projects, more projects, and make it happen. But the growth that I've seen for myself when I first envisioned myself as an actor to now is I'm doing it. Yeah. So when someone's like, hey, Adebi, what are the things that I can see you in? I'm not going to give you a list of things. I'll give you 1 or 2, 3 cool things that you could see me in. But back then I thought I needed a list of things, a list of big projects to say I'm an actor.
Okay, why not a list? Why not brag on yourself? Why not be like, I went to a lot of different things and I finally hit this whole list. Like, I want you to see all of it.
So I ain't got a list. I ain't got a list.
I feel you, because that's how I started when I did my podcast. People were like, I love to see your episodes. I'm like, I have 2 episodes. All right.
But at what point do you become a podcaster? Is it after 30 episodes?
Yeah, you're right.
Is it after 1 episode? Is it after you've decided that this is what you want to do?
Yeah, I feel you.
I think that's where it's at. And I think, and I know, the universe responds. The universe isn't always going to respond in the way that we necessarily want, when we want.
Yeah.
And so for me, as a Christian man, I speak beyond the universe. The Lord isn't going to necessarily respond to me when I want, where I want, but He's given me specific tools. He's given me specific desires. He's going to put the right people at the right time in my space, and He's going to have people talking about me in rooms that I'm not in, that I know nothing about.
Wow.
So I'm thankful for the journey. I'm appreciating it. I'm loving it. It's not always easy. And sometimes it's frustrating to hear people say, oh, just enjoy the journey.
I hate that.
Because one of the things I'm very fortunate about that I don't take for granted is the fact that I'm able to have another career that supports me. Because a lot of actors don't necessarily have that.
Yeah.
And so, sometimes, like, my heart goes out. And those actors I look up to, I'm like, man, I have a few friends that's all they do. And it's really project by project, check by check, praying and hoping for that big break. And when they get it, their story is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
I feel like my story is unique and is going to be amazing in itself.
Because it's your story.
Exactly. So I'm an actor.
Yeah.
We're actors. We're what we confess we are when we start working towards that goal.
I like that. Okay. Yeah. I like that. No, that's real serious, because sometimes we all have moments where we're like, am I official enough?
Yeah. And imposter syndrome.
Yeah. And that it's so huge, and it's one of those things where it's just like, once you get past that. So my biggest thing was when I first started, I would only have like maybe 4 people. And it took me a long time to start giving thanks for those 4 people. Yeah. And it wasn't until I started giving thanks for those 4 people I actually started getting more people. Yeah. So I would like to say, like, that's kind of it.
4 loyal.
And they still watch. And I love them for it. Thank you so much.
You post something on social media, they like.
And yes, every time. They watch all my stories. I appreciate y'all. Shout out to my 4 people.
Y'all know who you are. I love y'all.
Yes, no, for real. And I feel like all of us have that. Yeah. Like, Because, you want everybody that you tell about what you have going on to be a part of it and watch it. But then I had to start going, thank you for my 4. And then it was 5. And now I'm at 23. And then I'm like, it'll just keep getting bigger and bigger. So that's kind of one of those things. But I do know, like, some days it's like, damn, it's only 23. Yeah. And then I have to go, it's only 23. Yeah. Like, you gotta change your voice.
That's a growth. That's growth. So that's a blessing.
Yeah. Okay. So we talked about how you're balancing different, like you have your job at home, you have your acting career. Let's talk about a good moment. Like when you finally got the job. I know you have a project coming up. I want to make sure that we talk about that since you're not going to bring it up by yourself. So let's talk about what you did land and what you do have coming out, because I do think you need to, let's brag about you for a second.
So last year I filmed a movie called Falling for the Manny. I don't know when they're releasing it. Okay. But it's going to be released at some point.
But it's a movie.
It's a movie. I was a lead, excited about it. But I don't know when it's going to be released. But once it is released, I will let everyone know. I'll promote it just as they are promoting it. But it's called Falling for the Manny, by Damien Romain. He's the director.
Okay.
Sunshine Films.
Wow.
Production company.
So, how many auditions did you go to until you heard that I'm actually going to be on the set?
For that one, I did, I believe, 2 auditions. In all, just auditioning, I probably did close to over 100 auditions last year. Jeez. And landed 2 projects.
Yeah, it's okay. It's the odds. It's the numbers. You gotta keep shooting.
But that's the thing. I'm new to the Atlanta market.
Yeah.
So I have to do that just so that that casting directors get comfortable with me. They see my face. They see that I'm serious. They see that I'm going to keep doing these auditions. And the right role will find me, and I'll find the right role. But behind the scenes, I'm not just auditioning, right? I'm taking classes, doing improv, working on. And the great thing about acting is that it requires you to really work on the whole person.
Yeah.
Because
you can't be broken and act whole.
Because the thing is, in order to really dissect a character, you really have to be sure of yourself, because you're not going to be that person or that thing that you're portraying. You have to be comfortable with who you are and how you can bring that thing to life, understanding the nuances of what that thing is or that person is and who you are. So they have a host of methods, of learning methods or acting methods that actors use. But I was probably trailing off and going off on a tangent. But
no, it's fine.
Yes. So I agree 100%. That's correct.
Yeah, okay.
Do the math times 3 and divide it by 4.
And then eventually got it. Look, I'm on a movie.
So
what's your character in there? Tell more about it.
So, Falling for the Manny, I am the boyfriend of the lead character.
Oh, wow.
And she is at a crossroads because she's determining, does she want to stay with me, or does she want to stay with me, pursue her legal career, or does she want to move on? Because my character isn't as, in tune with her, because my character is an attorney as well, so I'm not as in tune with her as I should be. She has a child. I don't have a child, and I don't like kids. My character doesn't like kids.
He's like, please, my character.
My character doesn't like kids. So it's a rom-com, romantic comedy.
I love that.
And what I love about that project is I get to be like my silly, funny self. So
do you get to play like the jerky, like kind of F boy? You get to be a fuck boy, like on camera.
I'm trying to think. Per se, like I'm not that.
Okay.
I'm just clueless. I'm not sensitive to her feelings. I'm just like, hey, whoop-de-whoop. And she's telling me, nope-de-nope. And I'm like, but whoop-de-whoop, So I'm not purposely like trying to hurt her.
Yeah, it's just you're just blind to it.
I'm blind to it.
Gotcha.
I'm blind to the other guy that steps in.
Oh, of course. And see, guys, y'all always got to know, there is always a next up, okay?
Shady.
There is always a next up. There is always that guy who's been inviting her to dinner that she's been turning down.
Treating her
just
like...
don't mess up.
Treating her like the queen she is, right?
I love that. And then you also are going to be on a dating show. I want you to talk about that and the watch parties that you have. And
yes.
Where people can, like, tune into this, because this is huge, too.
Yeah, so... Yesterday, I was in New York for the premiere of the red carpet premiere thrown by Essence for The One.
Wow.
The One on TV One. The hosts are Kirk Franklin and Tammy Franklin.
Wow.
So really excited. This is season one, TV One's first dating show like this of this nature.
Okay.
Really excited about it. What we saw yesterday was so good.
Oh my gosh.
It was hilarious.
Good.
Kirk Franklin and Tammy nail it.
Okay.
They are. So I can't give it away.
Yeah, I know. Y'all gotta watch it. Y'all gotta watch it.
It premieres next Thursday the 18th.
Okay.
May 18th, Thursday, May 18th. 8 p.m. Eastern.
Okay.
7 Central. Yeah. 8 p.m. 7 Central.
Right after this show. So okay, I can watch it.
Oh, sorry, no, actually, wrong date, wrong time.
Wait, well,
9 p.m.
9 p.m.
8 Central.
Okay.
9 p.m. I forgot they changed it.
And then you're doing a watch party so that people can watch it with you, right?
So we're doing a watch party at Rose Champagne and Bistro. So you'd have to go on Eventbrite and download the
I'm gonna
ticket.
get the link.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get the link. Y'all go to my stories and I'll have a link for you at Entrepreneur.ish Podcast.
So we're gonna be doing watch parties every Thursday. Definitely the first one. A bunch of the cast are gonna be there. I'll be there for that. And then we're gonna have a massive watch party there's a day when, so the way it's set up is you have a bachelor and a bachelorette. Mm-hmm. The bachelor goes on different dates. The bachelorette goes on different dates, and they select people to move into a mansion that's in Atlanta, Georgia.
Wow.
So, and now that's when things take off and really the show continues. So,
is it like Flavor of Love, but like better?
It's better. It's Black excellence.
Okay, great.
So we're not on the ratchet stuff, but we're real.
Okay, I love that.
So I don't want to even talk about my role in it, but just know I show up.
It's like I'm in there somewhere.
Yeah. So there's a date when, the people that are selected move into the house, and on that episode we're planning right now. We don't have the exact date or the exact
so
information,
follow him.
but we'll follow up.
Yeah.
I'll follow up with you, but we'll provide information on what we're doing. We're gonna have a huge event. We're bringing ATL out.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good. Yeah.
Let's go. Speaking of bringing ATL out, there's a new event on Friday that's coming up, and it's on the radar. And I'm gonna say ASCAP. I'm so sorry, I should have known that. But Cali, Sleazy World Go, and Enchanting are headlining, and they are going to be. They're going to be amazing. So come out to this concert. The tickets are $20. The link is going to be in my bio after the show is done. And come see me. I'm going. It's going to be fun. Yeah.
Do it.
8 p.m. To 1 p.m. On the 12th. So, yeah. So, since we only have just a little bit of time.
Okay.
Because you were sober. He was like, an hour? Oh, my God. Oh, when are we going to do this? You had fun, right?
Yes, and she proved me wrong.
See? We're going to do a game. And this is everybody's favorite part about the new Entrepreneur setup. And this game is called Truth or Act. And so the guests must answer my question truthfully.
Okay.
Or perform an acting challenge.
Let's do it.
So, okay, you are ready. Are you sure?
Ready.
All right, I saw it. You got zen real quick. Okay, all right. All right, I don't want to do that one. What's the funniest thing that has ever happened to you on a film or a TV set?
Funniest thing, I might just have to act because I don't remember.
What do you mean?
Funniest thing. Okay, so when I wouldn't say funny, but it was really cool working with Tyler Perry when I did Sisters. Yeah.
You did see, He's like, I don't have a list.
Oh no.
I don't have anything going on. I don't have
Shout out to Tyler Perry. I think it was funny because that was funny because I studied my lines. It was one scene, studied my lines. I was like, all right, I'm about to meet Tyler Perry. We're about to make this happen. I need to be ready. To be Oscar ready. Oscar. And he was like, just improv. Do whatever you want to do.
What?
I was like, what?
Okay.
So I improv'd it, and it came out beautiful. Everyone was laughing in the on set. So shout out to Tyler Perry for giving me that opportunity. And,
yes, shout out to him just in general for giving a lot of people opportunities. Okay, so have you ever forgotten your lines during a performance?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Really? How does that go?
So
how do you recover? That's really what it is.
Film and stage is different. Mm-hmm. Stage, theater, you just got to keep going.
Yeah.
You act like nothing happened. You improv because you have a sense of what your lines are, so you don't have to be on the nose about it. And depending on the director you're working with on film, some directors want you to be on the nose and exact with certain lines because they trigger other people's lines. But for the most part, if you butcher the lines or you don't remember it, you just cut and reset. As much as directors don't want to do that, and as an actor, you need to be prepared. It's important for us to be prepared. It
costs money to cut. Okay.
Exactly.
It costs money to cut, so don't do that.
So have I forgotten it? Yes. Do I make a habit of forgetting my lines? No. I try to come on set prepared.
That is good. Okay. What is the most unusual role that you've been offered, and did you take it?
That I've been offered.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There was a role for a true TV type of, I forget the network, but it's one of those murder replays.
Oh, okay.
Those true crime type shows. And the role I was offered was the guy that actually murdered somebody, and he did some crazy things to him. And I looked at him. I was like, first of all, that was nothing like me. And I had done a true crime show before.
Okay.
ID
Again,
channel.
I don't have a list.
I did a show, American Detective, season 2. I think it's episode 3 or 4 on ID channel.
Okay.
And I was working with an actual detective, a guy that was a retired cop. And he was like, when people do these shows, often the audience will think that these are the actual
real
criminals.
person. Yeah.
I was like, I do not want anyone to think I'm that dude that done attacked and abused all these people.
No.
Heck no. And then they're going to have me looking crazy.
Yeah,
his hair was
you're
wild,
the face.
bald patches in his head. I was like, nah, that's not me. Nah, don't do me like that. So
you turned it down.
I turned it. I told my agent. She was like, okay, so never again. I'm good.
I'm glad you didn't play the murdering.
No. And then you have to know what certain roles to take at certain stages of your career. You can't just take everything. Like, they will pitch you a lot of stuff, but I just have to be smart because I don't want to be branded in certain.
Would you do SVU? Like Law and Order?
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, you gotta hit me with the Law and Order.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we know that's major network.
Yeah.
Big time. I would love to do that.
Okay. I'm gonna make you act since you answered all of my questions. Okay, so we're gonna do a quick scene.
I'm a very honest person, genuine.
And then we are gonna improvise a scenario, and you're gonna be a firefighter
with male BBLs.
No, we're
that?
doing something else.
She hit me with the.
I'm done shocking you.
She hit me with the male BBL.
I just messed him up. I have traumatized this poor man.
Question. Yo, what you think about male BBL?
You got to keep the people watching. Like,
yes,
I know how to come out firing.
I see.
But you're going to be a firefighter.
Okay.
My house is going to be burning.
Okay.
And I'm not going to leave until I get my cat. So you have to make me leave.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm going to set a timer. We got 2 minutes to get me out of this house.
Okay.
Do you have an accent? Are you going to be
I have to do an accent?
Yes, please do an accent.
I have to do an accent?
Do an accent as a firefighter.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Help me, save my cat. Oh my God, it's burning.
You, this woman, we will not allow ourselves to go and get tigers from a burning house. You have a big cat.
No, it's mine. It's my baby, and it's a harmless tiger. It doesn't bite, I promise.
Harmless tiger, okay.
Yes.
Then why does it not want to come outside of the house?
Because it's too big. I need you to carry my tiger out, and then you need to carry me too.
Will you help me carry your tiger?
No.
Why not?
Because I want you to carry my tiger.
Okay, I will carry your tiger. All right, now let's go carry your tiger.
Okay.
All right. Now that I've carried your tiger and I only have one arm left, what can you say? Will you come now and leave the house because it's burning?
No, my favorite shoes are back there. I need to go get those.
Okay, your favorite shoes are the those big red shoes that everyone's wearing.
Yes.
Okay.
You have to go get those. I spent too much money on that.
Those shoes have already melted in this fire. So we need to go ahead and leave so that we can pour water on the house and we can save the rest of your weird attire. Let's do that, okay?
Okay, but my tiger just had babies.
Your tiger is having cubs, lion cubs.
Yes.
Tiger cubs. Well, the cereal factory down the road needs another great, whatever tiger they call him. He died in the last fire. The last fire you set to your house. So we need another tiger, so this is perfect. You're a good woman.
I don't want to go.
You don't want to go?
No.
Okay, good. Now, what we will do now is commence to have your funeral ceremony as the house is on fire. And we have a song for that. The house is burning down and she does not care. And she's dying with her tiger in her tiger underwear.
Beautiful.
A month from now, I'm going to look back and be like, what
the hell?
That was crazy.
Thank you for being a good sport.
I was like, I don't know where we're going with this.
No, exactly. That's the point. That's improv. I was just like, let's do it. Okay, and then what I always ask is a very last question.
All right.
Is what is your #bossy habit? So for me, my habit that I have to do before I do anything with my business, and I have to go work out. It clears my head. It gets me in the right gratitude space. It gets me in the right place. What's your thing that you do to get ready for the day?
2 things. So I don't always do it, but when I don't do it, I feel off. So the first thing is, before I even roll out the bed, I always meditate and read my word, read my Bible. I have to. But if I don't, which sometimes I don't, I'm lazy, I feel weird.
Yeah.
The next thing is, like you working out. I have to work out. Whether it's just cardio, lifting weights, I have to do something because I know that because our bodies are going in one direction or another. They're either deteriorating or getting better. And we're getting older every day. So we just have to maintain our bodies. And for me, maintaining my body is also, helps me with my mental health, helps me clear my mind. I feel good. Even yesterday before our event in New York, I was jogging around Brooklyn.
Really?
And I posted. I was like, hey, I'm jogging. I felt good. I didn't have a gym to work out in, so I just jogged around and I felt good. But those are the 2 things for me. They ground me, keep me consistent, and I hold myself accountable to those things. So.
That's awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for
sure.
being on the show. We want to give another shout out to Creative Visions for filming today, and thank you Live Hip Hop Daily for having us. I want you to shout out your social media, and then I'm going to post his list of things that he does since he doesn't have a list. I'll let you guys know what it is.
I appreciate it. Social media, AO_LANRE on Instagram, and I do have a website, AOJUTIKU. I forget my website.
Oh my gosh.
I think ALO.com or adabeojudaku.com. It's been a long time. I rarely use it. But it's there.
Don't go there, y'all.
And then, you find me on IMDb. You can see all my stuff, all the projects that I've done. I have it on my IMDb.
That's what I will post.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I don't do anything. All right. Well, thank you so much. Thanks to Risque Babes.
Thank you.
One more shout out to Tropical Bath Body. She was here on our second episode, I think, and she's going to be at Ponce City Market. This is the best Mother's Day gift that you can give anybody. It's handmade soaps made out of all natural materials, and you can get it at Ponce City Market Saturday and Sunday. Yeah. All right. Thank you guys for watching Entrepreneur.ish. I'm Ellie, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Yay. Great.